Coming up next, a third day of testimony in the Larry Miliete preliminary hearing. We're in court and have expert legal analysis.
Storm system on the way will time out the heavy rain and melts and snow.
Plus, is there now a national ban on gas stoves? We verify.
The green organic recycle bins are coming to neighborhoods near you.
And if you're looking for a new furry four-legged friend, the San Diego Humane Society needs your help. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Testimony in the People versus Larry Miliete today from the first member of Maya's family to go to her house after she went missing. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Maya's brother, J.R. Tabalanza, was worried about his sister. CBS 8's David Gottfredson was in court as J.R. recounted what happened when he showed up at the family's home in Chula Vista.
I walked to the door of their house. I rang the doorbell.
Maya Miliete had been missing 24 hours on the evening of January 8th, 2021. Her brother, J.R. Tabalanza, had been unable to reach Maya or her husband, Larry, for 12 hours. The couple's 10-year-old daughter answered the door.
And then I asked her, "Where's your mom?" And then she said she's been locked in her room for 11 hours now, and she hasn't fed us.
Maya's husband, Larry Miliete, was inside the home with the 3 kids.
Did you tell your brother-in-law that you had been trying to reach him?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said my phone's been dead all day.
J.R. went upstairs to look for Maya in her bedroom.
I knocked a few times and I called out her name, but there was no response.
Did you ask your brother-in-law if there was a way to get in?
No.
Any reason why you didn't ask?
I just felt like it wasn't my place.
Why not?
I didn't want to be intrusive. I wanted to be respectful.
Larry claimed he had just gotten home from work, according to the brother-in-law, but later in the conversation his story changed and Larry claimed he had been with his son all day in the family's SUV.
There was a point where he mentioned that Lazarus has been eating French fries all day because he was with him.
J.R. also testified Larry admitted he had gotten into a big argument with Maya the night before.
Because Larry threatened to call the wife of the guy.
What guy?
Supposedly the guy that she was having an affair with.
Prosecutors allege Larry murdered his wife because she was planning to divorce him. In a text message shown in court, Maya wrote to her brother, quote, "I am so tired of his mental and emotional abuse." The preliminary hearing will continue Tuesday because of the long holiday weekend. Prosecutors are expected to call more relatives of Maya to testify about why she would not voluntarily abandon her family.
David, we know also that Maya's sister, Mary Chris Droulet, was cross-examined this morning. What stood out to you from that?
There were hours of brutal cross-examination of Mary Chris. You could tell Maya's sister was getting frustrated on the stand, and the judge was getting frustrated too. He frequently had to make his own objections to the line of questioning by Larry's attorney.
Now, an attorney who's getting a lot of attention, much of it because of her background in family law, not as a criminal defense attorney. David Gottfredson reporting live for us. Thanks, David.
A lot of people have been watching this case closely for the last 2 years. Joining us now to help break down the testimony in this preliminary hearing is legal analyst Gretchen Von Helms. Gretchen, welcome.
Thank you.
Today on day 3 of testimony, we heard from Maya's younger brother, J.R. Tabalanza. Let's get right to this piece of evidence, a text message that J.R. says he received from Maya where she complained that her husband wrote in these texts that he never lets me be by myself. He checks my emails, messages, messenger posts, talks about him tightening the reins even more. How strong is this text exchange for the prosecution as evidence as they try to show that Larry was controlling and jealous?
Well, it's very strong evidence for what they're trying to prove, which is that he murdered her. Because if he's that tight and if he's that controlling and that jealous, he could have done away with her because she was having an affair. That's what the prosecution's theory is.
Larry's attorney, Bonita Martinez, really focused on alleged affairs, as you mentioned, that Maya had, as she cross-examined Maya's siblings. Now, how could this be helping her defense case?
Well, her defense is that her siblings and she, Maya, are not that close. Because if they didn't know about her affairs, then they weren't that close with their sister. So she's going to say, well, they're not that close, and so that's why she's in the Philippines not calling them. That's her theory of defense.
So, Gretchen, you've been a criminal defense attorney for almost 3 decades. In your observation of the line of questioning from Larry's attorney, and as David Godfreyson just mentioned, the objections that the judge has had to step in and make himself, what is your analysis of how this is playing out?
Well, I think she's doing an adequate job getting her theory of defense out, but she's a little bit scattered in her approach. She's not streamlined, and she doesn't know the rules of evidence for a criminal court. It's really clear that she's very awkward with that, but I think she's doing, from the points I've seen, an adequate job of getting her theory out about the fact that she believes, or their defense is that Maya's in the Philippines and just not calling her family members because she's not that close with them.
Well, that brings me to this question. Legal observers question the effectiveness of Ms. Martinez, who, as we've been talking about, is a divorce and family law attorney and not a criminal defense attorney. There has been some question as to whether or not the judge could actually remove her from the case, or maybe perhaps appoint a public defender to Larry Miliete to help in this case, because if this case is bound over for trial, and if there is a conviction, there could be grounds for appeal based on ineffective assistance of legal counsel if some support doesn't happen as we get to an actual trial where there's jurors and so forth. What's your take on that?
Well, it's really up to the defendant who he wants as his lawyer. So the judge may say, your lawyer's doing X, Y, Z, and try to explain to the defendant that he is, at risk, that he's underrepresented. And if the defendant still chooses her because he shares a language in common with her, and maybe he relates to her, maybe that's why he chose her. And so it's up to him who he wants as his defense lawyer.
All right,
so
Gretchen.
The judge probably would not force him to accept somebody else.
All right, Gretchen Von Helms, thank you so much for your insight all week. We'll see you again on Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right, hopefully you enjoyed the sunshine today, because tomorrow it's going to look a lot different.
Yes, more rain is heading our way. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis joining us now. Carlene, I went for a walk around 10 a.m. and then by about 12 p.m. it got really cold. I could change. I could feel this change in the weather, even just today.
That was onshore flow picking up. So offshore winds, that's what made us a little bit warmer yesterday. We had widespread 70s for our daytime highs. But yes, Marcella can feel the change. Maybe you can too, because yes, we now have those winds more so out of the west, all ahead of that next storm system. Let's go ahead and time out some of the rain. So when you're looking at conditions right now, cloud cover is still going strong. We got high clouds out there, but they're going to build up even more as we go into Saturday morning. You're starting to see some heavier pockets of rain moving into North County. That's around 11:10. And then as we go throughout the day, by the afternoon hours, you're starting to see a heavy pocket. That's for Santee, but more widespread with the activity around 1:35. And then also talking about the big influx of moisture. That's expected by tomorrow night. That's when we're expecting the heaviest of the rainfall. And this is at 6:50 for tomorrow night. And because of that, the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for most of the county. That will start at 6 p.m. tomorrow night and go all the way into about 4 in the morning. So anywhere you see highlighted in dark green, light green could be popping up with flood advisories because of flooded roadways by tomorrow. So of course, keep your phone nice and handy. We'll go ahead with the alerts. We'll go ahead and get some more of the forecast coming up. But Carlo, back to you.
Thanks, Carlene. San Diego police are investigating a shooting near Hoover High School on 44th Street between El Cajon Boulevard and Orange Avenue. Police say a man was shot in front of an apartment complex and taken to the hospital. We're told the victim is a former Hoover High student. We don't know the victim's condition or if anyone has been arrested. Class was out at nearby Hoover before the shooting. The school was never placed on lockdown. A warning tonight, a new COVID Omicron subvariant is spreading fast across the U.S. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, XBB.1.5 is now responsible for 43% of COVID cases nationwide. That's up from 30% last week. It was first detected in New York back in October. 2 state COVID testing and treatment sites in San Diego County are scheduled to close in the next 2 weeks. The state also plans to close the remaining 4 COVID centers next month. We're told it's because of a decline in demand. There are still plenty of places for San Diegans to get COVID testing and treatment. For a full list, you can go to our website, CBS8.com, and click on the Help button.
Some of you received a green organic waste bin and kitchen pail from the city of San Diego this week.
If you haven't received one yet, you can expect it to be delivered over the next few months. Our Sean Stiles has more on how the rollout works and a reminder of what goes in and what doesn't go into those new green bins.
By collecting organic waste and keeping it out of the landfill, it will help the city of San Diego comply with California Senate Bill 1383. Matthew Cleary is the Assistant Director of Environmental Services.
All your food scraps from your kitchen, coffee filters with coffee grounds, and then all your yard trimmings, so grass, plant trimmings, anything organic can go in these green bins.
Neighbors were out during the rollout.
It's been a very welcoming response. People are really excited to receive the bins, and we're excited that they're excited.
Edward Pettis was watching as the bins were delivered.
I did figure that the green color was going to have something to do with environmental. So finding out that there were composting bins, I thought that that was a really good idea.
And he believes his neighbors will too.
They have participated long in actually being responsible with the recycling over here and making sure to separate the items and that sort of thing. So I think that this is the type of neighborhood that would be supportive of such a program.
Eggshells, that can go in there.
Our Steve Price liked how the system worked in a story several months ago.
This right here is my trash can from inside, and you can see it's only a couple of things in here now. It's pretty much empty. And the bin, I'd say a good 80% of the trash that was in my trash can is now in this bin.
The city plans to distribute the bins on your day of waste collection.
To get all the Wednesday collected homes out, it's going to take about 2 months. And we hope to move through the city, so that we'll finish up Wednesday, we'll work through Thursday, Friday, back to Monday, and then we'll finish up on Tuesday trash day.
Total time to get the bins out, about 8 months. And if you've already got a green bin, wait for your bucket for kitchen scraps to start.
And just to be clear, these green organic bins have nothing to do with Measure B and you getting replacement trash cans. That's coming in the future. Sean Stiles in Sherman Heights.
I need one of those kitchen pails. If you need a different size for a green bin or kitchen pail, you can submit a request on the city's Get It Done app.
Today, San Diegans came together to honor the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The USS Midway Museum hosted its 9th annual luncheon on the ship's hangar deck this morning. The event was held to celebrate the life and achievements of Dr. King and also to acknowledge San Diegans and their community service contributions.
The legacy of Dr. King and how it also has played a role in space exploration, believe it or not. Not many people make that connection. But up until the shuttle era, the space shuttle, there were no African-American astronauts.
There have been a total of 23 African-American astronauts in our history.
Still ahead tonight is a federal ban on gas stoves going into